Hello. This is Mary Nawabi. I am live from Spain, and whoever wants to come forward and join, please say your name and tell me where you're connecting from. We'll just give a few minutes for whoever wants to show up. We'll do some deep breathing to ground. Hello. How's everyone doing? Again, if you're just connecting, this is Mary Nawabi. I am live reporting to you from Málaga, Spain, and just wanted to do an energy update on what's going on cosmically and personally. There's a lot of emotions coming forward. So if you felt very intense emotional shifts, you're not alone. We're all in it together. I'll share some of the stuff that I've been going through as well. And so today I'll be talking about the energy update and what to release and then what to focus. And then at the end I will have some practical integration for you to choose and use if you wish to move forward, and how to integrate these intense energies. So again, if you're just connecting and coming live with me, please say your name and tell me where you're from, connecting. So the energies this week were very, very intense. I feel like today it's much better. Yesterday was a lot better, but this past week I felt very physically exhausted, tired, and I could barely do a lot of things. I felt very overwhelmed. I felt that my threshold was very short. I could barely do the minimum things, like just, feed the kids. I couldn't cook, just to take the dog out. And thank God Friday was probably the worst day for me physically. I felt everything on my physical body. I felt the exhaustion. My body was just telling me to rest, and then rest. I probably slept so much the night before, and then Friday, after I dropped off my daughter to school, I came back and then I fell asleep for another 3 hours. So I don't know, what are you feeling? Some of you might be feeling it strongly. If you are a sensitive body like I am super sensitive to these energies. I feel everything that moves into the cosmic and on planet Earth, but you may also feel it not to that degree if you're not super sensitive. And some other people may not even be aware what's happening. All they're feeling is the frustration, the uncertainty, and all the other energies that are moving forward. So what has been showing up for you? If you want to share it into the comments, please do so. Or if you want to do it afterwards, write it in your journal personally. What kind of intense emotions is it coming for you? And what are some of your solutions? What do you do with those emotions? So that's very important to tap into as well, that how do we deal, how do we integrate these emotions? So for me personally, the last 2-3 months were very intense. What came forward for me, my deepest wound that I've held in my physical body, in my emotional body for a long time, not from this lifetime, but also from other lifetimes, past lifetimes or parallel lifetimes. That was abandonment issues. So abandonment issues have been really big for me throughout my lifetime here and other lifetimes. And because of what's happening with all the stars, I'm not an astrologist, so I will not go into telling you about stars and so forth, because I'm not an astrologer, but I do understand astrology and my own chart, my own astrology chart, because life is about a journey, and it's important to understand what kind of journey we're on and how to help ourselves so the best possible way, so we could keep moving forward in life. So again, going back to abandonment issues, that's been a big fear for me. And so what I've been asked to release is to release the fear of abandonment. Although I wasn't abandoned in this lifetime, but I felt it inside my emotional body when I've done inner work and past life regressions and so forth. So I've had a lot of other lifetimes that I was an orphan. So that has been really big. And relationships been the major catalyst in my life, because through my relationships I've grown so much, understanding my own self, and through my relationships with the loved ones and with my husband. So my husband and I, we went through a very full month of very intense transformation for both of us. And for some of you that are going through some challenges in your relationships, it's very important to pause and understand that for what's happening, because it's not happening to punish you. It's not happening to, some people question it, why me? Why is it happening to me? But I think it's important to pause and understand it from a deeper perspective, from your soul perspective, because everything is laid out in your life for a reason. Everything has a reason. And those relationships come to our life to really awaken us, to shake something off that no longer belongs in our physical body. And so that part is very important to understand that part. Hello, if you are just tuning in, coming, just please say your name and where you connecting. So that'll be important for me to connect with you. But anyhow, so going back to I'm just talking about relationship and the energies that are surfacing right now. So obviously for me, because I've done a lot of inner work, I understand the depth of what something happens in my life, not playing the victim, and understanding why it's there, why it's happening. And that's a moment for me to heal. That's a moment for me to release that fear, not going outward to blame and point fingers at somebody, but to really understand why is it happening to me and in my life. Because our journey is laid down, that everything is placed by the universe, by whatever you believe in, by God, and it's there for us to grow and to learn something. Those challenges, those amazing turning points that are placed in our life is because to shake us, to awaken from that fear, because everything goes back to the fears we have. So for me as a woman, being raised in Afghanistan in restrictive cultures and witnessing so much, and during the war, and migration with family, so I was brought up with a lot of fear, and that stays in your nervous system. It doesn't go away. And there are moments in our life, like right now, what's happening in the world. The world is shifting with all these energies that are shifting. So it's shaking us up. We don't even have any control over those energies. The truth is surfacing. I mean, in the month of December, I had so many phone calls. People called me and they were just revealing the truth about something that I needed to know about my life. And those were very painful truth. And I couldn't just react and say, why is this happening to me? But to pause and to ground. The only thing that did work for me was to go into the nature, hug the trees, walk bare feet on the beach with water, and journal and meditate. Those were the only things that did help me, and the messages that came to me were just amazing, and it was all for me, why this is happening and why I need to release that fear. Again, all of that fear was based on that I felt abandoned. And so when you are married to someone, or when you are in a partnership with someone, there's always a reason why you are with that specific person. And some people are here with you for a very long time, maybe for a lifetime. But for some others, you're not with that person for a lifetime. You're with them for a season of your life. So we're meant to learn the lessons and move on. But some people get stuck in those relationships, wishing and hoping that something will change. But no matter what could change, the energy, the contract between two souls end. And when that ends, staying in that relationship will feel very mundane, dead. You will feel dead inside of it. So if you're someone who's in a relationship that no matter what you've done in terms of work on it, work in it, and you're still not getting anywhere, that means that you're supposed to end that relationship. And I know most of us, it's kind of a taboo to say, oh, just leave the relationship. But if you're meant to not stay with that person, and out of fear or out of a culture restriction you stay in it, you will feel dead inside. And that's not something that we want to do. So again, going back to, if you have any questions, some of you that are online, if you want to say something, you have any questions, and tell me where you're connecting again from. And so I want to take just a deep breath. There's a lot I shared there, because it's not so easy to be vulnerable and share my life story publicly. But one of my mission is, as a soul, is I've actually signed a contract as a soul that I'm going to help people, and I'm going to make a difference in my life and others. And part of my journey is to share my stories and be very vulnerable. And it's not so easy to share those stories publicly. I don't do it to gain fame or to perform something, but just to help others to feel, to break the walls and to be okay to share and to tap into vulnerability, because throughout lifetime, I've controlled so many factors of my life. Control has been the major one factor. And I've had these incidents in my life that shook me to my core to surrender to the energies of universe, God, my creator, whatever you name it, whatever that you believe in, is to completely surrender. And especially as a spiritual healer, because the last 6 years, all I've done is release so much trauma. And sometimes I wonder, when is this gonna end? Because it's, for some of you, if you're that person, you're sensitive and you're spiritual and you feel everything, it's not that easy, because you go through all these ups and downs of emotions, and you feel everything that is no longer belong inside your emotional body. And as a healer, you're supposed to release everything so that energy goes through you. And when you are helping somebody else to heal, you can't have a lot of fear factors inside of you or control, because what the energies come from other higher beings, angels or God, whatever you name it, you're supposed to have clear vessels, clear channels because if you have control, it won't work. So control has been something that I've dealt with it throughout my lifetime, and there are moments that I felt that I'm a victim, that why is this happening to me? Like I've always like built careers and build them successfully and get to somewhere, and then the maximum time was like 10 years, and then all of a sudden something would come and then shift everything about my life. It's like, this, you're not going to do this, you're going to do this something else. Or we've moved so much. Some people make fun of us that they feel like we move just for fun, but you know, when you're spiritual, you get called to certain specific locations and lands, because those energies, you go there to integrate certain energies and certain wisdom, and you have to follow that intuition. So we lived in Turkey for 4 years, and that was an amazing journey. I had a lot of past lives in Turkey, and I did deep inner healing there. And then when that part was done, we were guided to move to Spain. So Spain has been gifted me with a lot of creative energy. So speaking of creativity, the energies right now, especially this year, it's a lot of creative expressions are coming about people. People are feeling to tap into like writing, drawing, singing, poetry, gardening, whatever people have their creativity in, they've been really activated to go after their creative expressions. And that energy was there in the beginning of the year because it activated people. So you felt this burst of great energy that all of a sudden you just felt alive. And then it kind of phased away, and then it's going to come back again. But right now, what's collectively has been asking for humanity is to let go of old patterns, systems that no longer work for people. And that's been there for humans, for organizations, for systems, especially systems that have been so old and dated that no longer would work, like relationship patterns between couples, that they've been stuck. And so these energies are there to shake those and say, no, that won't work anymore. You have to change it. You have to change yourself and that dynamic between the couples. And some people, if they're stuck with fear, they won't change it. Maybe they'll get stuck. I don't know how that's going to work for a lot of people, but people are getting pushed, whether we want it or not, to change the old ways. So it happened between my husband and I, because I've always, like I said, had this energy of control. So when you're running by control, you're using a lot of your masculine energy, which masculine energy is always about doing things. And so that when you use that, you lose your balance. And when you lose your balance, your partner loses his balance or her balance, because naturally I have a lot of feminine energy. Well, we have both energies, masculine and feminine, but we naturally tend to use one versus the other. So my strong energy is feminine, but then because of survival and my nervous system and controlling, so I've been using a lot of my masculine energy, and that did not help my relationship, because then my husband naturally goes into not using his strong masculine energy. So when the dynamic is so reversed, the romance and relationship could reverse. So, and that does not help the relationship progress. So I was reminded of that I need to really tap into my own feminine energy. So when you do that, naturally, your partner will tap into his or her masculine energy. And so it's about the balance. When you lose the balance, then it doesn't feel right. Nothing feels right in that relationship. So that's been the journey, and the system and the cosmic is right now asking to let go of the old ways of doing things. And so if that's something for you has been coming forward, that one big deep fear that you've always had, but the energies were here to remind you that to release that, you want to release that. So even though it's hard, it's difficult to release, you want to write it down, you want to say something to release that. So if you're someone who's going through a difficult, very difficult time right now, and your nervous system is also going through a difficult time, which means we want to feel safe, right? And so I have a little bit of a daily affirmations that I use that helps me a lot. I'll share that with you. It's short, and if it resonates with you, please use it. If it doesn't, leave it. So putting one hand always on your heart and one hand on your womb, which is your creative energy. Your heart is obviously, that's where your soul is. And then your creative energy is your womb. So one hand on the heart, one hand on your womb. And you take deep breaths, like 1, 2, 3, take a deep breath. And you say, I am safe, I am held, I am grounded, I am guided, I am connected to the source, we are all one, we are all connected, I remember the dark and the light within me, because the last part is very important, because we see a lot of people's dark energies are surfacing. There's a big stuff coming up with Deepak Chopra, where he didn't do the inner work for his dark energy. We all have dark energies. That's part of just who we are, humanity. But it's to do the shadow work, do the dark work, and so the both gets balanced. So that's the most amazing prayer that I just take a second to do that, and that helps me a lot. And if you're someone who connects with nature, nature is a great way to really release all those unwanted energies that no longer belong to your physical body, like going into the sea, grounding into the nature, trees, writing. Writing's been amazing for me. If you connect with writing, through writing you can heal so much. And then obviously meditation or prayers, whatever you believe in. So, I want to take a little deep breath. And I do have another so when I write, so I channel angels, I channel the higher beings, and most of it comes through my writing. When I write, it comes. So I have a lot of channeled writings about healing. So I want to share one with you that this week came forward, and I think, again, anything I share, if it resonates with you, please take it, and if it doesn't, leave it. Your body will tell you if it resonates with you, because when you get goosebumps in your body, someone's talking about something, that's a resonance. Your body saying, yes, that's the truth. So, the next few weeks and months, so especially February 17, there's going to be the new moon and the Chinese New Year, the fire horse, and there's a lot of other stuff happening, which I'm not going to get into in the planetary, but you are going to feel a little bit more of these energies. So it's important, and you're going to have different portals are going to be opening up for people to tap into abundance, because one of the themes showed up for 2026, obviously, it's creativity and abundance. So these key codes of abundance are showing up for people a lot. Now, it's not automatic that you're going to tap into abundance unless you do the inner work and you're ready to receive it. So if you are ready to receive it, I have a little bit of invocations that might help you, again, if you choose to use it. I'll read it out loud, but then I'll make a copy and I'll attach it to the video afterwards. So it goes like this. There's a mystery in the unfolding of my journey. I welcome the mystery and I welcome the unfolding. I walk with grace on my journey. I open the doors with the keys and codes that were gifted to me by my beloved divine creator. Your divine creator is God, the universe, whoever you believe in. Today, I thank my divine parent and my original creator for creating me with so much love and grace. I am now home, feel in the arms of my creator, without questioning anything, but walk with grace towards my light and the mission within me. I now merge with divine alignment. The key is alignment in order to tap into abundance and higher frequencies of creation, flow, love, strength, sovereignty, peace, harmony, stillness, and grace. I now walk alongside of my soul, my body, and my mind. I dissolve all fears. And at the end you say, amen, amen, amen 3 times, or you say, so it is, so it is, so it is. And if you have any language, any symbols that come forward, you could use that. And for me, I've been using a lot of light language, which is the language of the soul and the language of angels. So I'll take a little moment to just close that invocation, whoever's witnessing, just to close it off with the light language. For some of you that are not used to hearing the light language, it may sound weird or it might weird you out, but just let your body feel the light language. So I'm going to put my hand into my heart, and the light language again is the language of the soul and whatever comes forward for all of you that are witnessing today and from the higher frequencies. Taking a deep breath. So I feel like these energies are coming from the star mothers, the divine feminine energies. And these energies are here to activate your creative energy, your womb. That's also your sexual energy, is the same energy that we use creativity. So if you're open to receive, you want to open up your palms, and something magical might happen to you if you're open. Ashkarati satrayuna I tarakatiya satra ishra ukna itratiya satra ikna tataya shuritiyaya askaratiya ichra attatataya takisiya irahu yashaya. So, however you want to take that, that was a message that came forward. So, if you have any questions, you can always send it to me. And I'm in Spain, so it's getting dark in here. My lighting system is going out. So, I know some of you are connecting from different parts of the world, but thank you so much for witnessing today's live, and hope to see you next time and connect with you. I'm here to serve whoever is ready to receive. I'm Mary Nawabi, and thank you so much. Be blessed.